I sent an email out about digital displays that I've created, basically because trying to make sure to promote Sora as well as promote reading and to remind everybody in my school community that I'm still around and I'm still looking to help them. And I got some really great feedback from the list, and a couple of people asked how I did it. So I am putting together this little tutorial here to show you how I did my digital display. Now, for those of you who aren't sure what I'm talking about, this is a picture. Hold on a second if I can find it. This is my email. This is the one that I sent out yesterday. Warm Up with a Good Book is what it's called. And if I click present, you can see what it looks like. Each one of these books is a clickable link that takes you to Sora. The lovely Barbara Jackson commented that I should make this little cup of hot chocolate link to a recipe for hot chocolate, which I did. Shout out, Barbara. Thank you so much. And I'm going to just show you how to put it together so that you can create digital displays. I'm more than happy to share the ones that I have created. The books that click back to the Townsend Harris High School collection in Sora, as well as Brooklyn Public Library, New York Public Library, and Queens Public Library. That is one of the features that I honestly truly love the most about Sora, is that we are no longer limited by our own collection. We can show students the books in the public library collections and one-stop shopping right there. So I created this display using Google Slides. It's pretty simple, nothing too complicated. You need some patience. The hardest thing that I found when creating these digital displays are coming up with ideas that translate well into the digital world, because either that it was just a bunch of books on a page. I want to make it eye-catching, and I want them to have a theme just like I would in my school library. So I have one that I've started, and I'm going to show you the process that I did, and then I'm going to jump to the one that I started for January. And because January is a new year, new you is usually the slogan, I thought of New Year's resolutions and how we try to make ourselves better. So the first thing I did was I Googled the top 10 New Year's resolutions that people make, and this is the list I found. So when it comes to anything, you should always make sure that what's in that list is appropriate for your students. So if you look here, right, so eat healthier, that works. Exercise more, that works. Save money or spend less, that works. Something new, that works. Quit smoking, right? So quit smoking, I probably am not going to put any books about quitting smoking. I am hoping that my students don't smoke. I just don't feel it's appropriate. If you know you have a heavy vape community or a heavy smoking population, you might want to put some books in there about quitting smoking. But this is something I'm not touching. Read more, change jobs, or for high school students, look for jobs, look for colleges, drink less. The same thing there with the smoking. I'm not going to be touching that one either. Spend more time with family and friends and get organized. So there are 10 topics here. Am I going to do all 10? I'm not quite sure. Am I going to maybe branch out from those 10s? Not quite sure. It depends on how I feel, what the vibe is that I get. But I just needed some ideas to start with. So if you go here, you'll see I have my blank Google slide, and I need to make it look like a room, right? I need to make it look like a wall with a floor so that I can put books on a shelf. So the first thing you do is with your new slide is you click for a background, right? The background, I'm going to choose an image. Okay? And then I'm going to go to Google Image Search. And for Google Image Search, I am going to search for wall and floor backgrounds. Okay, sometimes it takes me a while to type. And you see a whole bunch of different combinations show up. You've got the brick with a wood floor, brick with the white brick with a wood floor and a plant, red brick with a brown floor, a washed wood with a washed wood, and all different types. And if you scroll, You'll get even sidewalls. This one kind of looks like a padded cell. I'm not quite sure. This has a more fancy floor, black and white. Here has a door. This one's kind of cool. I might use this one for a different project. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to the one with the green door, even though the one I've started doesn't have this. I want to see what it looks like. I'm gonna go click insert and then click done. And this room has a back wall, two side walls, a floor, and a door, which is actually quite cool. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this for my New Year's resolution themed, but this is something I definitely am thinking that I might want to play around with. But if I want to change it, I can go back and I can choose to do the same thing, and I don't even have to search because it's there. And I am going to pick, let me pick, ew, possibilities are endless, it seems. I'm going to pick this one and click insert. And you will see I have some like faded rainbowy type wood and a white brick wall. And there's my room to put my display on. Now, the next thing is I need to put a bookshelf in. And here on this icon, you're going to click insert image and you're going to search the web for an image. It's a Google search. And I'm going to type in shelf. And you get a bunch of different ones. This is the one I've been using in the last 2 or 3 displays, but I want to scroll down and see. Here's another one. That one looks kind of cool. You could scroll down, see if there's any others that might work. I like this one as well. I think this is the one I'm going to choose. But you can keep scrolling and see if anything else floats your boat. Right? You got this one that kind of looks like a library bookshelf. But I'm going to go back. Excuse me as I hiccup, and go to this one. And one of the things when it comes to choosing these images, you have to be mindful that the background might not be transparent and it might come up white. And if it comes up white, it can spoil the whole effect. So I'm going to click insert. And I'm happy to say that this does not have a white background. It's transparent background so that my wall shows through. So it makes it look cool. And I'm going to kind of center this. And one of my favorite features now about the Google tools is that it gives me that red center line, so it makes designing a little bit easier. And I'm going to make it a little bit longer. I want to be able to fit my books. Right? And here is the beginning of my bookshelf. Now, since this is New Year, New You, I want to put a banner across the top of my bookshelf that's going to explain what my collection is about, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe a Happy New Year. And see what happens. And we have some stuff. And we can play around with it and see how it looks. I feel like the gold might work. Let's click insert. All right. And can I? Yeah, I can do that here. Let me see. I want to crop this picture. Can I crop? Yes, I can. Hooray! I want to crop it really tight so that it fits at the top of the banner. Ah, no, screwed that up. There we go. Right there. That's good. Cool. And then I can put that up here. I don't know how I feel about this. Might be a little too busy. It takes up too much space on my shelf. Now, I will tell you, you can get caught up in the design of your digital display, and it can take you 20 minutes or it could take you hours, depending on how caught up you get. I personally don't like the way that banner looks, so I'm deleting it. And instead, I'm going to add a text box. All right, and I'm going to put a text box at the top. And I'm going to center the text right here. And I'm going to write Happy New Year. And I am going to make it a little bit bigger. looks pretty good. And I'm going to change the font. And I kind of like the way that looks, maybe a little bit even bigger. And then I am going to see if I can, yeah, see the red line? It is now centered with my bookshelf. Looks kind of cool. Now, to add books. There are a couple of ways to add books, and I'm going to show you how, right? So I am going to go to my Sora, right? I'm going to go to my home page first, then I'm going to go to Explore, right? And I am going to search for a book. Now, the idea behind Sora, rewind. The idea behind creating these digital displays is to promote my school library's Sora's collection and the New York City DOE's library collection. I want the kids to borrow our books first. Does that mean I'm not going to link to any books from the public library system? Nope. That means but it does mean that if I find it in my library first, that's the first link I'm going to send. So let's do diet, right? Because that's one of the New Year's resolutions, diet and exercise, right? So if you look here, New York City Department of Education, there are a ton of new books on diet, right? We've got the CCD collection, Cheryl Wolf CCD collection on cooking, and they added a ton of new cookbooks, so you can include a cookbook. We can hit search more to see what other New York City library books that there are. And I am going to pick, just for purposes of this demonstration, I am going to pick the Smart Girl's Guide to Going Vegetarian, right? And I click on it. And here's the book. Now, my major complaint about Sora is that these images, I can't right-click and copy them, and I can't right-click and save them. So that presents a problem when you're creating a digital display. So you can go to Google or Amazon and do the Smart Girl's Guide to Going Vegetarian, right? So I'm going to do that. I hope I spelled that right. The one thing I love about Google is that it'll fix my spelling. Hooray. And look, here is the book. I can click on the book preview, right? And there is a picture. So I'm just going to close this. I want this book. This is what I want. I want this picture. If I right click, I can copy the image. Simple. Copy image. Go to my digital display. Right click and click paste. And here's my book, right? I resize the book so that it fits on the shelf. And then I need to link this book to Sora, right? So how do I do that? That was a major question that people asked me yesterday in emails. I want to link this book to my Sora collection. I go to Sora. The URL up here takes me. I right click, I copy it. I go here, make sure that the image is selected. Click on the little link insert and paste. And now this is a clickable link when it's in the presentation mode. And when a student or a patron clicks on that link, it will take them to the Sora app, to that book where they can borrow, right? Now, I personally don't like searching for the book in Google to find an image that I can copy and paste. So this is what I usually do. So let's go back to diet and let's pick a different book now. Let's pick let's pick Project Q. Right? Project Q, which is more than 50 ways to calm down, de-stress, and feel great. I really need to borrow this book, right? So remember, I can't right-click and save or right-click and copy. My Windows program comes with a thing called Snipping Tool. You can, if you're running Windows 7 or Windows 10, I believe you have it as well, Windows 8. Type in here to search, and you type snipping, and the snipping tool app comes. It's going to be changing its names in the near future, and when it does, you should be notified. But here is the snipping tool. I already started snipping book covers. So what happens is I need to take a new snip of this book. So how do I do that? I click on new, right? And if I don't know if you can tell, my screen grayed out and my cursor turned into a plus. See? So in order for me to take a snip, I move my plus sign to the corner of the book, and then I drag, click, hold and drag to the opposite corner so that I get the entire book, the square or the rectangle. Let go, and it's taking a picture of the book. And here it is. I go to this icon here, which is the copy icon. And then I go back to my digital display, right click, and paste. And there's my book. I resize it to put it on my bookshelf. Right? Like I said before, great tool is the fact that the red line that appears on my screen tells me it is centered with this book, so it's kind of aligned. I need to grab the link, which I just did, copy, and then I'm going to paste the link for that book and paste, apply. So now I have two books. Now, one of my main concerns when I started creating the digital book displays is that it looks really small, and I'm wondering if people will be able to see that. But right now, this is in design mode in slides. It's not in present mode. If I click present, this is what you would see. And the titles are definitely readable. And you see my cursor turns from an arrow to a hand, an arrow to a hand. I'm going to be adding about 12 books to this shelf on the different New Year's resolution. I'm not going to walk you through each 12 because that's crazy. And then I'm going to come back and show you how to design the rest of the room just to make it more appealing. All right, so I'm back, and there are 12 books on my bookshelf and pretty bland walls. And I don't want to have bland walls. So now I'm going to look for posters. And, let's see what happens when I do New Year's resolution posters. And let's take a look. Right? New Year's resolution, watch less TV. New Year's get offline. Boom, boom, boom. New Year's resolution, save more water. Take time to do things that make me happy. Quit smoking. I kind of like this one. Next year, just be happy. That kind of works. I think I'm going to do that one. So what I do here is very simple. I right click, I copy the image, I go back to my display, I right click, and I paste. And here's a picture. The next year, just be happy. And I put that here. Right? Then I might want to, then. I need to let the people know who get to this display when I send it out to them that these are clickable links, right? And it's going to take them to Sora. So another thing that I would do here is I would look up Sora. And you will see Sora is a Kingdom Hearts character, so I don't want that. But here is the Sora little circle space guy, or I can use this one that I've used in my others. I can use this one, Sora the reading app, and you can pick one. I think I'm going to try this one because I think I kind of like it. I don't know though, because it's got let's see if it works. Let's copy this image. Whoops. And then paste. Oh, yay! The background is invisible, so it works really well. So I resize it so he fits. And then I'm going to put a call out. Whoops. Call out. Right here. I move his little speech bubble so we know he's talking. And right. The books are clickable. And that's a little bit too big for text. So I will make it smaller. I think I will center it as well, just for aesthetic reasons. And I'm going to put a exclamation point. Now this section of my wall is a little bare. What's something else I can put on the wall? Let me think. Okay, so I took a quick pause to figure out what other kinds of things I can put on the wall or include in my digital display for my students. So I was thinking of inspirational posters or music. And one of the things is like, you know, yoga, right? So I Googled yoga posters, keep calm and do yoga. Yoga, I don't know what this one says, limited spots, enroll soon. This is for a class. I could do something like that, even though I'm not necessarily teaching. Hot yoga poses. Let's do yoga. Let's do yoga poses posters. I just want one. I don't necessarily. Oh, let's see this one. It looks kind of kids yoga exercise poster seated poses. That looks kind of cool. So I will right click, copy the image, and paste it over here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my little space guy a little bit. And I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to move my little speech bubble thing. I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to make this a clickable link to a yoga for beginners, right? A complete beginner's yoga home workout. Copy the YouTube link. Copy. And then insert same way. Insert the link. And paste. Apply. And then I might want to put here, I'm not sure. And I also don't want to get too crazy because this is what ends up happening with me. It's like I start going a little bit nuts with adding things and I don't want it to become too overwhelming. But sometimes, you know, I get ideas and inspired. So I'm going to grab a table. I wonder if this one will work. The angle has to be correct. That's the important. Oh, this angle works. And I'm going to put it here. Kind of matches my bookshelf a little bit. And I want to add a radio. I know, I'm a weirdo. Radio. And let's see, I'm going to put a radio on top of my table. I think the first one I saw works. I think that one is good. Let's see what happens. Where'd it go? Is it huge and gone or small? I have no idea. It didn't show up. Unable to create some images. Okay, dismiss. Search the web. Let's try it one more time and see what happens. If I get the same. See, and this is what I was talking about earlier. The background stayed in. Yeah, no good. Now there is a way to remove the background, but that's for another video. I want to find something with a transparent radio. Let's see. Transparent background. Boom. Well, this one? Let's do this one. Insert. that works. Transparent background. I'm going to put it on my table, and I'm going to link this to some relaxing music on YouTube that they can click and be pleasantly surprised by some relaxing music. Paste, paste, apply. Awesome. Click. Now you want to be all crazy, you can add a little rug on here, but I think I pretty much have a decent book display. Now I don't know if my speech bubble is going to get cut off because it's off the slide. Let's take a look. Presentation. Yeah, just a little, so I need to move it down a bit. So I'm going to, when I go back to the editing mode, I'm going to move my kids yoga exercise poster down. Now, if you notice, my kids exercise poster doesn't have the link to the yoga, so I think I didn't save it. Right? I don't think I put it in. Let's escape. Let's move my poster down a bit. Let's move my books are clickable down a little bit. Right. I need to add a link here. This is the yoga. Copy. Remember how, oh, I don't think I said that. This is the second time I'm recording this, but I do have a whole bunch of tabs open because that's what I do. Paste, apply, and let's just do that one more time and see if it fixed. So, yep, this is a clickable link, clickable, and you can see as long as a hand shows up, we're good. Clickable, this is not clickable. So I just want to show you, I'm going to fix this book because he's hanging off the shelf a little bit. If I click the Genius Habit, it takes me straight into Sora to the book where I can borrow it. I hope this helps. I hope this inspires you to create some crazy fun book displays. My plan is to share a book display once every other week, once every 2 weeks, maybe once every 3 weeks. I don't want to overwhelm my school with too many emails from me. I don't want my digital book displays to get stale and like, oh, here's just another blah, blah, blah. So to keep them fresh and fun, I don't want to send one once a week. Maybe once every other week, maybe one every 3 weeks, or for like big holidays. So I have my holiday winter one that I just sent out. This one will be sent out probably during Christmas break. I think I'd like to do one for civil rights, Valentine's Day, Black History Month, Women's History Month, and things of that nature. But I also want to make some fun ones. So it's really easy to go crazy, but pick and choose wisely so that you keep Sora and ebooks and reading in the front of your students' mind. Digital displays you're only limited by your imagination. If you have any questions, if you have any trouble, just let me know.